What is going on, YouTube people? New kinds of comics here today to talk a little Otani. If you're, I mean, I don't know how you could not be possibly aware of this situation, and I don't want to get too into the details because it does seem to be changing quite frequently. I'm actually recording this on Friday morning. Basically, his interpreter got tangled up with a bookie, but the story changed a couple different times. So people are jumping to the conclusion that maybe Otani was betting on stuff. It's kind of all over the place right now. We still don't have a whole ton of clarity what's going on. The way I understand now, part of this is that it was with an illegal bookie. It wasn't with a established casino or a gaming commission approved uh, place to place your bets. The way I understand it, and someone could correct me if I'm wrong, I think the MLB player policy is that they're allowed to bet, just not on baseball. I could be wrong on that one, and we don't know what they were betting on. Once again, I don't want to get too wrapped up in all the nonsense. Regardless, all eyes are on one Mr. Otani. And Otani has, let's just be honest, some pretty expensive cards. People have a lot of money tied up into expensive pictures of men, pieces of paper, slabbed up in little pieces of plastic with numerical grades on it. There's a lot of money tied up in his stuff. And I guess my key question today, and let me lead off with this as well. For my own personal stake in things, I really don't own a ton of Otani stuff. I think the only thing I have of any remote value is a all aces PSA 10 insert because I like the card and I kept one when I graded a bunch of them. But that's like, I don't know. I haven't checked prices on that. I'd be shocked if it's more than $100 value. So I'm almost more curious as a temperature take of the room. If I'm going to take this a couple different ways. If you have a lot of money invested in Otani, what is your concern level on a 1 to 10? Are you, do you have news alerts set with Twitter notifications for any time Otani's name is mentioned by anyone of import? Are you kind of like, this is fine. MLB will never let him take the fall for this, even if he was involved. They'll do everything in their power to help cover it up because he's the golden boy. Are you full panic mode? Are you not worried at all? Or are you taking the complete opposite approach? Hey, man, if someone wants to sell some Otanis at a discount, I am all in. So if you are an Otani holder, you're the first person I want to hear from. The second person I want to hear from is if you have zero Otani or maybe limited, but you've been wanting to get something. Are you looking at this as a buying opportunity? Are you saying, hey, man, I think he's going to be fine. If you're willing to sell to me at a little bit of a discount, let's go. Now, to be fair, we don't know what pricing is doing yet. It's way too soon to say. When prices drop like this, it typically takes a little bit of time for that to play out. Now, you might be able to snag some deals in the immediate, but like in terms of it showing up on charts and graphs, it's going to take a couple days, if it happens at all. Now, on the screen here, I just picked some of his random, more popular PSA 10 rookies. We have the 2018 Bowman, 2018 Prism Refractor, the pink of him batting refractor, pitching refractor, and a pink pitching refractor. Now, that percentage change stuff that you see, this is over the last 30 days. And I did look, his stuff was slightly creeping down ever so slowly leading up to the season prior to this news coming out. So it's not like this stuff fell off a cliff over the last couple of days. I guess you could see maybe the 24% drop on the rookie debut happened over the last couple of days. There's a little bit of downswing here, but it's tricky to say if that's just normal market nonsense or if it is people looking to dump. Like on the refractor, This one sold for around $520, and the most recent sale is $490. So did that drop because of this? We don't really know. His Bowman Chrome, first Bowman Chrome batting was going for $750. The last one's at $740. So, nothing crazy there. And these were all yesterday, sales on March 21st. So, like I said, it's still a little too early to see if this is going to absolutely impact his prices. My guess is it's going to have a little bit of an impact. There are going to be some people that are very risk averse that are just going to say, you know what? We just saw this play out with Wander Franco. Obviously, much different story, but there was smoke circling around that one. People ignored it. Let me cover some stuff. Let me trim the fat on some inventory. I have a feeling some people are taking that approach. If I had a bunch of Ohtani, that might be the approach that I take. Sit down, look at what I have, and say, okay, maybe this more common man stuff, I'm just going to go ahead and move off of. If I have something more rare, more high end, maybe I will set this to the side and forget about it and see how this plays out. But if I have more, like I said, just base PSA 10s or, base refractors, that sort of stuff, maybe move off those sorts of things. It just depends on what you have, what your risk tolerance is. But there's at least, eyeballs are being poked around into things. And, if let's take the worst case scenario here. If by some craziness, and this is a monster if, that they find out that he was betting on baseball, he's toast. So, prior to this week, the only thing you were worried about with Otani was injury stuff. There is at least now some percentage of risk that he could go to zero. Like, joking aside, obviously, even Wander Franco hasn't gone to zero, but you get my point that we could see 80, 90, 95% drops if he bet on baseball. And even if MLB wants to try to cover it up, if the feds get involved because, wire cases and all that other nonsense, illegal gambling, they're not going to be able to prevent that from coming out. So if he goes down, that's it. Now, what's the percentage chance of that happening? It's probably low. I don't know what it is, but I would put it at low. But just the fact that it exists on the board is a little concerning. As someone that owns no Ohtani, I would look at this as maybe let me get into a couple of his lower end stuff if people choose to fire sale. I've always liked the 2018 pink refractor of him hitting because there's just not a lot of refractors of him in a batting pose from his rookie year. That would be something like if it got super cheap, maybe I would snag one, or if someone was looking to fire sale one. The base pitching refractors, the prism refractor. I mean, at any price, at some point in time, I'll jump in, but it's not something, I don't have save searches set up. I'll put it that way. If something came across my desk and the price was really strong on it, maybe I would take a swing at it, but I'm not going out of my way to chase his stuff. I still have concerns. My actual bigger concerns about Ohtani is him bouncing back from Tommy John in the first year. I could see him having a pretty good year, but not living up to expectations, and his prices dipping a little bit, and there being better buying opportunities later in the season. That was my thought process with him to begin with heading into this season. But this maybe accelerates that a little bit. So we'll see. So, like I said, we really don't know a ton. We'll have to see how this all plays out. But I am temperature checking the room on this one. If you're an Ohtani bag holder, are you in panic mode at all? Or are you in, hey man, I'm looking to buy. Sell me the dip all day long on one of the most insane baseball players of the generation. Both sides of the plate, let me know where you're at on this one. Are you willing to gamble on Ohtani? Catch you boys and girls on the next one. Peace.